CBC Sports presentation.
1 month ago, the Washington Capitals were on a crash dive course to the NHL depths, so the owner there made a coaching change.
My gut tells me that Brian Murray's the guy that's going to bring the Capitals out of their doldrums. Brian Murray's the guy that's going to turn this franchise around.
Brian Murray, a no-name coach with a no-frills approach. He's got the Caps in gear, and you really can't tell the Washington players, kids like Darren Beach, for example, without a program. And then there's Tim Tukey, a second-year man, no longer a rookie. Greg Thaberge. Greg who, you say? Well, stay tuned tonight. What's in a name? Try Gaetan Duchesne, an 8th-round draft choice from Quebec. There's Chris Valentine. Now there's a name synonymous with heart, and Chris has plenty of that. And of course, Bob Carpenter, the pride of Peabody, Mass., a high school star who could be the best of the young Caps, who meet the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight from Maple Leaf Gardens.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Canadian General Electric, 100 years of progress. Canadian Tire Dealers, with over 350 stores to serve you across Canada. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one, right down the line.
So the rookie-laden Washington Capitals invade Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, scene of some dismal performances by the home side of late. With us in the studio, Gary Green, the league's youngest coach a few months ago, and now the league's youngest coaching casualty. Gary, welcome to our telecast. You may become the youngest commentator.
Well, I guess all I can say to that, Brian, was that I set another record, I guess, as being the youngest casualty of the National Hockey League coaches.
Everybody wants to know what turned the Caps around. Is that an embarrassing question for you?
No, not at all, because first of all, I'm a pretty good friend of Brian Murray's. He's an excellent hockey coach. When I left the Caps, I felt there should be some changes made. They felt that they had the talent. In the next 3 games, it proved that I guess they didn't have the talent. Since that time, they've used 14 different hockey players. Since I took over, they've used 39 hockey players in the last 25 games. So I think that Brian is on the right track without any question. He's strong, he's a disciplinarian, and he wants to see changes made. He wants to see some young blood in there, and they're doing a heck of a good job right now.
We'll hear then from Gary Green about the other changes on the Capitals team as this evening wears along. And speaking of the evening, and in the gondola, we have Dave Hodge to call the play-by-play. Gary Dornhofer is our color commentator tonight. So it's Washington and Toronto from Maple Leaf Gardens. Hockey Night in Canada on CBC returns in just a moment.
When you buy a Luminar 20, you get color television with the Hitachi Touch. You get the Luminar definition processor that can define this picture, hair by hair. You get the Luminar Color Commander that commands perfect color without fail. You get the exclusive Luminar 20 warranty that guarantees all solid-state parts for 20 years. Would you want more in a color TV? The Hitachi Touch. Some people have it, some people don't.
It's a time for best friends and best wishes. A time for best thoughts and best feelings. Here's to the laughter and memories after. Here's to the best at Christmas.
This season, give your gang our best. Serve Canada Dry mixers, the important 4/5 of drinks for over 75 Christmases.
Here's to the best at Christmas.
With everything Canadian Tire sells, you might think our name should be Canadian Auto Parts and fishing. sporting goods, and camping, and plumbing, and houseware, and home improvement, and hardware. But you can call us Canadian Tire for short. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
The Cashews are hot, and so are the Capitals of Washington. 1 loss in their last 10 games. The Maple Leafs in their last 8, just 1 victory. Good evening, everyone. From inside Maple Leaf Gardens, this is Dave Hodge, and to avoid any confusion tonight, you'll also be hearing from Gary Green and Dorney Dornhofer. Only fair that the guest keeps his name, and we can call this fella Dennis Pee Wee Marouk. Okay, Dorney?
Well, Gary, you'd have to admit, 4 goals last night. He's on quite a tear, headed for possibly another 50-goal season.
Well, Dennis can certainly put the puck in the net very easily, Gary.
Bob Myers will referee tonight's game with the help of linesman Gerard Gauthier and Ray Scapanello, and we have a meeting of rookie goaltenders tonight. For the Capitals, Al Jensen is called up from Hershey of the American League, formerly in the Detroit system. He is a Hamilton native, and Vince Tremblay starts again for the Maple Leafs, who of course are without Borje Salming tonight, and that is a theme we may be referring to throughout the evening, Dorney.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the defense revolves around Borje Salming, and tonight, well, some of the players had said maybe this will be a test of our character, but Mike Nikoluk had said it's about time we get a little backbone in our hockey club.
Bill Derlago won the faceoff cleanly, shot it into the Washington zone, and Greg Theberge, one of 8 rookies in the Capital lineup, brings it right back into the Toronto zone. Bengt Gustafsson tried to get it, now got it back, and a clear shot at Tremblay. The Leafs' Rick Vive ridden off the puck by Gustafsson, and the Capitals' Theberge watches it come out over the line, almost put it right onto Anderson's stick. Derlago missed that pass. It will not be icing as Jensen leaves it for Theberge. Darren Veach gives a pass to Gartner. There will be a Leaf penalty on the play as Mike Gartner was dumped. Anderson bumping into Carpenter, and the Leafs will play shorthanded from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Look out, world.
Here comes a brand new model of the world car. Ford Escort with front-wheel drive, 4-wheel independent suspension, and now...
You got more doors, something more than 4 doors. Another one behind, they call the hatchback.
New Ford Escort 4-door. Here comes a terrific high-mileage car with room for 4.
Look out, world.
Here comes Escort 4-door.
Here comes new, here comes now, here comes Ford.
Well, it didn't take very long for the Leafs to get the first penalty of the game. You saw Gartner falling to the ice as Derlago hooks him. So on the power play, the Washington Capitals. What about this power play, Gary?
Well, I think you're probably going to see Ryan Walter try and get in front of that net, and certainly Veach and Theberge both possess good shots. They'll be trying to shoot.
And let's watch Dennis Marouk, 10 of his 21 goals this season on the Washington power play. Don Luce killing the penalty for the Leafs, gets it down the ice. Darren Veach, who had a very successful junior career, especially his last season when he played under Coach Brian Murray. Giving it to Thaberge, the junior out of Peterborough. John Gibson at the Maple Leaf defense. Knocks the puck back into the Washington zone. There's pressure on Thaberge. Martin knocking him off the puck. Veach is watched by Luce. Capitals having a lot of trouble getting organized.
Well, good strong forechecking by the Leafs. You know, you just can't let a team get set up in their own zone and come out together. So it's one of the reasons that the Capitals are having a little bit of problem getting organized.
Leafs draw some applause from the fans for their penalty killing efforts in the first half of the minor to Derlego. Here is Marouk, always dangerous when he has the puck. To Veach at the point. We have a mix-up in front of the net that causes Bob Myers to blow his whistle, and Gibson steps in. Now he took a shove at the Washington player Valentine, and Ryan Walter came in after Gibson.
Well, again, this is Gary, normal for the Capitals. I guess they've been a little more spunky as of late.
Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The whole world's turning turtle. Turtles just for fun. We turn in turtle all around, 'cause turtles are the best they found, with chocolate and caramel, crunchy pecan nuts as well. The reason isn't hard to guess why. Turtles taste the best. The whole world's turning turtle. 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 The whole world's turning turtle.
For Washington.
Well, the Capitals certainly had somebody in front of the net. Valentine was gaining that position. He and Melrose got into it. So they both will receive minor penalties.
Manpower remains as it was when Derlego got his penalty. Capitals with 5 skaters against 4 for the Leafs. Washington has Tim Tukey out to take the face-off against that man, Darryl Sittler. Rookie Bobby Carpenter is out there in the Washington power play, which has been very ineffective so far. Veach offside, but delayed as the Leafs again shoot it down the ice. This time, Veach steps over the line, and it's offside again.
Now, we had conversation with Nick Luck this morning. He just felt that the Leafs have run out of excuses. They've used every possible excuse this year for the reason that they're playing. Well, now it's time to, I guess, put up or shut up is the word you can use, and get things moving. But he said it's not the rookies that are hurting us, but the older players, the guys that we really depend upon for leadership. They're not giving it to us.
Darryl Sittler killing the penalty, the last 20 seconds of it with Wolf Pema up front. Tukey for the Capitals turns away from Sittler. Veteran Terry Murray, the brother of the Washington coach, sends Carpenter on the right wing. Mano hauls down the rookie from Peabody, Massachusetts, and he will get a penalty with 1 second remaining in the Derlego sentence. So the Leafs are going to play another man short for 2 full minutes after Derlego steps out. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
Honey, wake up. We've got to get to work.
Shh. I'm making coffee.
Oh, you're not making coffee. You're sleeping.
I'm making coffee.
You're sleeping.
I'm making coffee.
What Fred doesn't know is that Janet bought the incredible Brew Starter by CGE. Brew Starter, the coffee maker that starts brewing a pot of wonderfully fresh coffee automatically before you get up. Also available with a digital clock.
We bring good things to life.
Carpenter along the boards, and what did Mano do to him?
Well, there's the holding on Mano against Carpenter. And Gary, how is Carpenter now used as a winger? Is this a better position for him?
Well, I think so, Dorney, because Bobby Carpenter coming in at just 18 years of age, playing center, that's a pretty key role. You've got to really be the control of that line.
Terlego is out, and he races after a loose puck. He is onside. Al Jensen sees that, comes out to play the puck. Marouk. Vive took the puck and scored. Short-handed goal.
Well, a tough play for the youngster Veach. 21-year-old first-round pick, but you see Vive just strip him from the puck. And actually, Marouk skates right away from Ricky Vive. And this allows Vive to pull a neat little shift and go in unmolested and score a short-handed goal.
12th goal of the season for Ricky Vive, his first of the short-handed variety. Capitals resume their power play, which has done nothing and has now resulted in a Leaf goal. Here's a Caps chance. Puck fired wide of Tremblay. Murray at the point. Tried to get it to Walter. He is pressed to the boards by Gibson. Right in front. Man open is Robertson. Walter with Murray, and Gibson stepped in front of that pass. The Capitals continue with it, however. Marouk and Gibson. Gibson up the boards. Murray keeps it in. And now the Leafs get it out as Marouk is flattened by John Gibson. And Gibson and Walter look at each other. Now Marouk takes a shot at Gibson, and here we go. Gibson and Walter. Marouk knocked down by Terry Martin. Marouk and Martin are going at it as Gibson lies on top of Walter. Rick Green is being restrained by Don Luce as he tries to help little Dennis Marouk. Bob McGill is on the ice, and he has a bear hug on Torrey Robertson. They now have Gibson apart from Walter.
Well, that's always the dangerous part. There are 3 or 4 players sprawled off right at the blue line with the skates around the hand area. You know, one slice and you're finished for the year. That's what you really worry about. But
I'm interested to look at Bob McGill and Torrey Robertson. You see them there, junior teammates at Victoria last season.
Friendship ends in the National Hockey League as they're having a few words, plus doing a little pushing and shoving.
He doesn't know they were junior teammates.
Well, I'm sure when Mike Nicolak had said that we needed a little backbone, I don't think that he was referring to fisticuffs, but it seemed right from the start of the game that there was some good body checks being thrown in there, that both teams testing each other.
Well, Brian Murray looks on, wonders about the penalties, as we do, because there could be some interesting calls here. A third man in somewhere along the line. With a score, the Leafs 1 and Washington 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
When I get a headache pain, it's a beauty.
Then you should know about the medicine under one of these boxes.
Oh,
Think, Mrs. Ellis. Just 2 tablets have more than 900 milligrams of pain reliever.
900? That's a lot. Anacin. I never knew Anacin had so much.
Strength? Over 900 milligrams in only 2 tablets.
I'll try Anacin.
Anacin, adult strength. Also available in new Anacin capsules.
Well, the equipment is still being gathered. Rick Green has all of his, and he has gone to the Washington dressing room. Until we get the official announcement of the penalties, we won't presume to speculate on all of them, but perhaps Green has been tossed out of the game. And that represents a rather large loss for the Capitals, does it not, Gary?
Well, there's no question about that, Dave. He's their key man on the blue line. He's a good two-way defenseman, mostly a defensive defenseman, though, and they can't be without him for this hockey game.
Gary, while we have a moment here, you had mentioned before that when Brian Murray came in, he was able to get the players and make the changes when necessary. That didn't happen with you. You had to more or less play the players that were presented on the ice. I guess you were at a kind of a disadvantage in that case.
Well, I think that, Dorney, in any situation when you're coaching a hockey club, you're supposed to coach the players that are given to you. Brian's in an excellent situation right now, having come in. He can demand that the players, if they don't perform, that they're gone. And that's exactly what he's done. He's a strong disciplinarian that wants changes, and he's put a lot of new blood into certainly into the Capitals lineup right now.
We should add that Brian Murray is celebrating a birthday today. He turned 39, and I don't know how the rest of the day has gone for him, but he can't be very happy with what's happened in the first 3 minutes and 55 seconds of this game. The Caps have had a shorthanded goal scored against them, and it appears that they have lost their leader on the blue line, Rick Green, for the remaining 16 minutes and 5 seconds of this period and the full 20 minutes of the next two.
Is that a little smile on the face of Mike Nicolak? I don't think he's seen that kind of enthusiasm for the Leafs. I mean, they looked eager when they came out here and started to throw their weight around a little bit. But, you know, again, getting back to the Capitals, I had an opportunity of talking to Terry Murray, his brother now the coach, and I said, I guess you get to play a regular strength, kill penalties, power plays, the whole work. So he smiled at that. He says, one thing, there are no favorites. He treats everybody the same, but he made the statement that I'll guarantee if you guys will not work in practice or a game, you will not be there. And a few players, my old buddy Bob Kelly has found that out. Unbelievable. Last year he had just a fantastic year, and now he may be looking for another job.
It's interesting how things go. Murray, of course, started this season at training camp with the Philadelphia Flyers, and Gary, while you were the Caps coach, you paid $2,500 to get Murray to Washington, and you, above all people, never would realize, nor did Terry, that he'd be coached by his brother later in the season.
Well, David, I don't know whether that's an easy situation for either Brian or Terry right now, but certainly with their success rate right now, nobody can certainly look at it and say it was a good move.
Well, there's still a discussion at the penalty box area. All the officials there, a few of the Leaf and Capital players.
Well, the Leafs have no room in their box. I suppose they're the only players who could sit down in gold seats. Harold would say they're yours free of charge, but I don't know what the Capitals do if they don't have any room on the bench. We have room for a message. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Gee, you must have hundreds of names here.
Well, actually, it's a cast of thousands.
Wow.
I hear you're quite a hot dogger.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, give me a golden and I'll jump at it.
Didn't you find it cold out there?
I don't find it cold anywhere.
Thermal pantyhose, right? Good friends, healthy exercise. What more could a man ask for?
How about a golden?
Well, thank you.
When it's a good, smooth golden, go for it.
Good idea.
Number 25, Terry Murray, a 10-minute misconduct. For Toronto, number 23,
we're getting the penalties
Gibson,
written down, and we will give them to you as soon as
2 minutes for slashing.
that is finished. Boreas Salming looking on. Laurie Boschman, Ron Zanussi.
Bob McGill, 5 minutes for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 20, Don Luce.
We'll let you listen in on the final.
Time,
oh, that's the end of it. Walter, 2 and 5. Maruk, 2 and 5. Let's let Paul Morris do it.
2 minutes slashing, 5 minutes fighting. Rick Green, a game misconduct. Torrey Robertson, 5 minutes fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Terry Murray, a 10-minute misconduct. For Toronto, John Gibson, 5 minutes fighting, 2 minutes slashing. Terry Martin, 5 minutes fighting. Bob McGill, 5 minutes fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Don Luce, a 10-minute misconduct. Time, 3:55.
When all is said and done, as it now is, it appears the Capitals are going to play a man short after all of that. Two of their players had minor penalties in addition to majors, and the only Leaf minor that was announced was to John Gibson. Now, of course, the Leafs were already shorthanded with Mano in the penalty box. So they're going to play 4 skaters aside for the next minute, and then the Leafs are going to have a 1-minute power play.
Well, Dave, we're going to find out the players that are sitting on the players' bench if they're in shape, because they're going to have to do some double duty for a while.
Vibe, who has the Maple Leaf goal, the only one of the game, shoots it into the Washington zone. Benning at the point. Off the skate of Bill Derlego. Tukey for Washington. handed it right to Benning. In front of the net, Derlego scores!
Well, in order to be successful, you certainly can't cough that puck up in your own zone. The Leafs were able to intercept at their own blue line a stray pass, and Derlego is jolly on the spot for that rebound, and Jensen, he was down, no chance in the play.
Well, the defense got out of position there somewhat too, Dorney. Two lead players right in front of the net. Caps defenseman still behind the play. As you say, can't give up the puck in your own end zone.
Well, they've done it twice, and they're down 2-0. Bad errors by the Capitals in their own zone have contributed to both Maple Leaf goals. So a faster than usual start for the Leafs, who normally see the opposition get a quick one. The Leafs have 2 of that variety. We haven't played 5 minutes of the opening period as yet. Gartner for Washington. And again, the Caps give it away to the Leafs. Derlego and Vive crisscrossing at the line, and they went offside, according to Ray Scapanello, not according to the Leafs faithful.
Well, let's have another look at that last goal. You notice both Leafs in front of the net, and once Jensen makes the save, he's out of position down, and Derlego has an easy time of it, putting it in that corner.
In 15 seconds, Mano will leave the penalty box, and the Leafs will have the man advantage. Benning has the puck for Toronto. He is with Derlego and Vive. Pass is behind Vive. Benning kind of got tangled up with Bill Derlego. The Capitals have had a stumbling start in this game. Get Gartner over the Leaf line. He's ridden away from the puck, and Benning leads the Maple Leafs into the Washington zone. Pema off the boards. Mano out of the penalty box. Bangs at it once and twice. Pema behind the net, looking in front for Mano, and Gartner knocked it to the line. Robert keeps it in with a shot. Jensen makes the stop. Randy Holt on the ice, shoving with Pema, who gets the loose puck. Benning. Jensen a good stop. Capitals killing off the remaining seconds of their minor penalty. Sittler tried to set up Pema, had him open, but the pass was deflected. And it comes out over the Leaf line. 5 seconds left now in the Washington minor penalty. And now the Capitals are back at full strength. Sittler's shot. Jensen juggled it, held it for the faceoff.
Well, I don't know, Dave, but so far this is the best that I've seen the Leafs skate and forecheck in that zone. They're doing it very aggressively, and I don't know if that has something to do with the Capitals arriving early this morning at 4 a.m. and then having a very spirited workout. I mean, Brian Murray really skated him for about a half an hour. Is that normal for the Capitals to skate that hard?
Well, I was totally the opposite, Dorney. I didn't really believe in morning practice the day of the game. I'd like to think the players are going into the game with a full tank of gas. Why use it up in the morning? You can't win 2 points in the morning.
Good point.
Gaetan Duchesne, quite a success story. The 152nd player taken in this year's draft, and he is in the NHL. Has been all season long. Tukey now for the Capitals, trying to get around Boimstruck, who played him perfectly. Puck rolled off Pema's stick. He got it up to Maloney for Sittler, who was bumped. A good check by Walker, but Pema carries on. Beach is knocked into the boards by Pema. The puck comes loose for Sittler. Pema at the side of the net. Jensen tried to hold it for the moment. It came loose. Maloney has possession. At the point, Boimstruck's shot, and Jensen narrowly prevented Boimstruck's first NHL goal. Mano did succeed in keeping it in. It's right back out. The Washington player turned around, and with Bobby Gould going to the ice, the Leafs will again be penalized. Live from Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Ludlow. Outstanding. Great, Chief. No, outstanding accounts. You hold the record for overdue accounts.
I can explain.
See this? Another piece of paper won't get customer attention, but phoning long distance will. It means paid bills, improved cash flow, and you can't lose your phone in the files. Where is your phone, Ludlow?
It's in the files. Business long distance. Today's way to operate.
We've now had 88 minutes in penalties in this first period.
Well, you see Bobby Gould, who had come over from the Calgary Flames. There's a little spin around there, and Sittler on the call. And right now, the only thing that could really hurt the Leafs is taking those bad penalties, especially between the two blue lines. But Washington again will be on that power play.
Leafs ahead 2-0. Gustafson for the Capitals. Valentine back to Gustafson, a weak shot, and Tremblay handles that with Bob Carpenter getting to his doorstep.
I noticed that when the Leafs stand up at that blue line, Gary, that it presents Capitals with a lot of problems. It seems like they like to carry that puck in rather than dump it in and going in after it.
Well, when you've got a couple of guys that are as good as Ben Gustafson and Bobby Carpenter at carrying the puck, they like to carry it in and gain possession at blue line. They're really trying to set up. But the Leafs are doing the right thing right now, standing up, holding them at that blue line, forcing them to dump it in. Right now, the Caps aren't dumping it in, though.
Derlego checking with Rick Vaive before he steps into the face-off circle. Carpenter left it for Thaberge, who gives it back to the American-born rookie. Here's Gustafson in the slot, winds up, deflection, and Tremblay made the stop. Valentine was looking for the rebound. The Leafs send it into the Washington zone for Thaberge. And away from Derlego and from Vaive. Gustafson brings it over the Leaf line for Valentine. He whips a shot. Tremblay had enough of it with his glove to stop the Washington scoring chance. Sittler has served almost 1 minute of his penalty as Gartner is on the ice for the Capitals. Now one of the very best skaters in the NHL. Mike Gartner off the boards. Carpenter will get to it. He has it taken from him by Mano, and Robert got it not over the line. Thaberge for Carpenter, kicked a quick shot, and Tremblay is there. Rebound came in front, was swept away by Payma, but not out. Another shot is wide. At the point, Gartner knocks it off the boards. Carpenter turns around to see the puck. In behind the net. Gustafson in front, another chance from there. Rebound opportunity, another one by Gustafson, and he can't get it in. Carpenter. At the point, Thaberge misfired. Carpenter is there to pick it up. Gartner at the other side. And Tremblay will hold on for a face-off.
A good-looking power play. It took the work of Vincent Tremblay to prevent any scoring.
Well, certainly Tremblay made some key saves there, Dorney. Greg Thaberge there got an excellent shot, playing sometimes on his wrong side during the course of power plays, but he does possess an excellent shot. Grandfather there, Dit Clapper, he's very similar to Dit, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Well, you watched, I noticed how the Capitals like to get that man in the deep slot area and set that man up. But again, you see the shot coming, and Tremblay, jolly on the spot, comes up with a couple of excellent saves. And then one went wide, but good puck control by the Capitals looking for that open man.
Vince Tremblay holding up the game for the moment as he has a little equipment repair to do in his goal crease. 9 seconds left in the Sittler penalty. Capitals have had their big gunners out there and are now with Tukey and Jarvis up front along with Duchesne. Derlego took the puck from Gaetan Duchesne back to Benning, and that does it for the Sittler penalty as he has the puck now. Godden had an opportunity, and now Wes Jarvis hit by Melrose. The Leafs are hitting at every opportunity. Duchesne came over the Leaf line, and it was knocked out to center.
Well, Dave, we haven't seen the Leafs do that much this year, but so far it's been a very effective weapon to use. They're breaking up a lot of plays because of their hits.
Melrose into the lineup because of the Salming injury. Godden tried to get it for John Anderson. Duchesne has the puck. Anderson took it away. The Leafs leading scorer Got the good shot away. Now Beach for Jarvis. Melrose got a piece of that and goes to the corner to pick up the puck. Saginaw wasn't ready for the pass. Now Anderson takes a pass from the Capitals. Washington giving the puck away far too often. It's really cost them in this period. Carpenter with a big shot that Tremblay stops, and Anderson sends Saginaw to the Washington line. His hard shot goes over top of Jensen in the Washington net. Anderson comes off the boards with it. He was held up for the moment, and now Boimstruck gives it to Godden. Saginaw tried to get it back to Ernie Godden. Boimstruck at the Leaf line with Mano. They neatly avoided the forechecking of Bobby Gould. Robert with it for the Leafs. Godden to get a line change, sweeps it into the Washington zone. This is Bobby Gould. Had a hat trick earlier this season with Calgary before he was traded. Sittler races to the puck for Robert. Sittler again. Good move, and he lost his balance after making that fancy play. Maloney for Sittler, rebound. Oh, and Al Jensen came up with a big stop. Sittler had 2 tries to make it 3-0.
Again, the Leafs are really controlling the play in the Washington zone.
On This Week in the NHL, coming up in our first intermission, we're going to devote a good deal of time to the big trade this week between Buffalo and Detroit. We'll also have highlights of games played earlier this week, so stay tuned. This Week in the NHL, first intermission.
Well, the league is still buzzing about that Buffalo-Detroit trade. Hear more of the follow-up conversation in the first intermission. Gartner for Duchesne, and the rookie gets a shot that Tremblay had to stop with his stick. Melrose up for Robert. Again, the Capitals give it away. Maloney was turned around, and there'll be a hooking call against Washington. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
I've lost my crown, my people, my fortune, but I can still look smart. And I do. In my Aerosmooth shirt from Aero. Look at this collar, perfection, and it's specially designed to stay perfect. I even get my exact sleeve length. What quality? Aerosmooth, fit for a king at a price any ex-king can afford.
Aerosmooth, white and plain colors, just under $20.
You don't have to give up a fortune to look smart.
Now Dan Maloney, good possession again inside the Washington blue line to see Walker coming up on the hook, who was signed as a free agent in 1980. And how about the Capitals killing off the penalty? Do they do a lot of forcing?
Well, Darnie, what they're doing now, what I did is totally different, and we didn't have very good penalty killers, so Brian has been able to effectively get a better penalty killing unit together. I think they're playing more of a forceful type of killing system.
Well, they're liable to do that with Maruk on the ice. 21 goals this season. Benning at the point is going to take it deep for the Leafs and put it right in front of the net. A perfect play. Benning shutting up Derlego.
Well, it's not often that you can thread the needle the way Benning did on that play. You know, it's hard enough gaining control when you have a man harassing you, but watch that one go right over to Derlego. There was a scramble in front. Jensen seemed to be tied up by the right-hand goal post, and Derlego didn't waste any time. Pumped it home.
14, Rennie Robert. Time 11:49. Bill Derlego.
So the Leafs have had 3 goals, 1 of each kind. Shorthanded, regular strength, and now on the power play. Valentine had it handed to him and tried to center it for Walder. No damage done to the Leafs as Anderson comes to center. The goal by Bill Derlego just 9 seconds into that Maple Leaf power play. Walker, who was penalized for Washington, runs into John Gibson. Now 5 bumps with Walter. Sittler got it out to Anderson. Anderson trying to return the pass to Sittler was broken up by Chris Valentine. He was checked by Robert. Sittler just couldn't get it as he dragged the stick behind him. Valentine just got rid of it into the stands, and the Leaf fans rather happy with what they're seeing so far. Darren Veach on the Washington defense. He's had his problems like everybody back there tonight.
Well, good forcing by the Leafs. All takes place on the face-off, Gary.
Well, that's certainly an interesting situation here, because Derlego, as soon as he got that puck, he released it right away, and that's a very difficult thing to do and still maintain excellent shot that he got away.
Well, there's a good example that had Derlego hesitated and got himself ready, by that time Jensen would have been able to cover up that side of the net and possibly made the save. So again, that's the reason that as soon as you get it on the net, don't give that goaltender a chance to take one away from you.
Jim Benning, who has assisted on 2 of the Leaf goals, gets it to Maloney at the goal post. Almost a 3rd assist for Jim Benning.
Hey, this doesn't look like the same Leaf team that we've been watching for the last couple of weeks.
Wait a minute. Yes. Gustafson had a chance. Tremblay poked the puck away. Carpenter turns around at the point. The Berge's shot. That was stopped by Melrose, who got it out to Robert. Maloney will take another shot. Stuck behind Jensen, but wide of the net. The Berge, the highest scoring Washington defenseman. Neither Capital player looking for that pass, and went right to Benning. He's working on the defense with Barry Melrose. And Benning shot it in. I'm sure this isn't the way Washington has played either in the last 10 games, losing just once. Veach got it up to Gartner. Gustafson, who's had the majority of scoring chances for the Caps. Back to Gartner. His shot not difficult for Tremblay. And Mano brings it back for the Leafs. Gets it back from Boymstruck and shoots it in. Payma racing with Walker for the puck. Leafs come up with it. Ernie Godden out there with Payma and Martin. Payma takes down his foe, and they get a whistle.
Well, again, you know, unless the Capitals start squeezing off some of the Leafs' wingers and just interfering with them, it's going to be a tough job for the Capital defensemen, because the Leafs are really going in there strong forechecking.
Well, Dorney, they're really missing Rick Green out there right now. Just as the Leafs were expected to miss Salming out there, Rick Green is a guy that doesn't get beat on one-on-ones too often.
Some action in Montreal, Gary.
Well, the Canadiens had jumped off to a 1-0 lead, and Calgary, who's been having all kinds of problems defensively, reply with Kevin Lavallee on a good slap shot from that slot area against Sevigny. So that game is tied 1-1 at the Forum.
3-0 here at the Gardens for the Leafs. Washington player falling from the faceoff was Tukey. Godden got it back to Boymstruck. And Walker for Washington shoots it, and it does get out, but Payma keeps possession for the Leafs. Terry Murray wraps it off the boards. Again, the Leafs keep it in. Godden is taken down, and the Capitals come out with Duchesne. His pass intercepted by Boymstruck. Payma again adding to the list of Leaf hits in this period, and the total mounts is Godden. Again, knocks down a Washington player, this time with a cross check, however.
Well, he's not a big guy, but a lot of heart, Ernie Godden.